Shalom. I want to start off by giving our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, the bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect on the highways and hedges pushing the truth. It's your brother Rabbi Knapp coming out with the lesson, Lord's will. It's edifying. Yeah, same old, man, coming out and just breaking it down, man. Lord's will, it's edifying. Like I always say, man, because it's really up to the Lord, man. It's because faith is a gift, okay? You know, if the Lord gives you the ability to believe in this, count yourself blessed, man. Okay? You're supposed to. It's good to know the truth, man. Okay, it's a healing ointment to those who were bruised, were healed were broken as a people, man. We've been destroyed as a nation, okay? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. I actually was pulling up to a spot. I was trying to find a spot to do a video at, and I saw some girls. They go around the city and they talk to random people and they pass out pamphlets and they talk to you and they try to get you to go to their church that's around the corner. Why do you think they do that? They do that in order to convert you. In order for you, ultimately, is to make their congregation bigger, which equals money, okay? Dollar signs, okay? Because that's what this world is, man. When you go to a church, they have to pay for electricity. They got to pay the rent. There's nobody even in there, okay? But then they have tax exemptions for them to, let's look into it, actually, matter of fact. Let's look into it. See what pops up, you know? Esau tends to 501c3 for a church. We'll get more specific. Let's see what it is. It says church 501c3 status, section 501c3 of the U.S. Tax Code describes nonprofits that are charitable in nature. Organizations determined to be 501c3 by the IRS are recognized as such because their purpose satisfies the limited scope allowable. Those purposes are religious, educational, scientific, literary, testing for public safety, amateur sports promotion, preventing cruelty to animals and children. The list also covers those purposes that are more generally charitable. Churches exist to exercise and promote religion. So let's look at this word religion. To promote religion, it says. Let's look at religion. It says to believe in and worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially a god or gods. Okay. So they are inherently religious organizations. Let's look at this word organizations. A subscription that brings together device management, support and repairs. An organized body of people with a particular purpose, especially a business, society, association, the action of organizing something. Yeah, exactly, man. A business, man. That's typically how it's run, you know. That's why you see your pastor, he runs it like a business. Outwardly, he'll bring out Bible verses and, you know, make you feel good. He sings some songs, you know, pass around a collection plate, and then drive off in his nice car. That's like that's a pastor 101 in Babylon. That's what they like, man. Paying for their kids, all go to, you know, nice colleges. What does he do for work? Okay, the Bible's free. Okay, see, when you make it a religion, it's all about you. All the belief comes through you, okay? You're the one chosen by God or the so-called white man to have a 501c3, okay? You had to go to your enemy for the one of all things. But is he telling you that? No. Is he telling you about the 501c3? No. Why isn't he just coming out preaching the word? And those who hear, they hear, and those who don't, they don't, you know? But, you know, it's kind of pointless to even come out and try to, get this information out to some of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because it falls on deaf ears, okay? So what I tend to like to do is, man, just look what's going on in the world, man. Convincing you to come out of the church is pretty much impossible, okay? We're wasting our time. If you didn't know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all are the Israelites according to the Bible, okay? And what does that mean? That means that you have a heritage, okay? And that you're supposed to keep, because it's with the Most High God that you claim to believe in. It's the book of Sirach. I'm gonna start here. 24 and 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded for a heritage unto the congregation of Jacob. So this is our heritage, the law, the commandments, the law, statutes, and commandments, you know, keeping these high holy days, being holy, refraining from the ungodly. That's what being holy is, to be separate. You have laws, okay? Statutes and commandments. That's your heritage. Faint not to be strong in the Lord. Yeah, faint not. Don't give up, man. You want to strive to be strong in the Lord, in the true Lord, in the true power. Getting back to the Hebrew, man. Knowing who Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is. You know, you want to be strong in the Lord, that he may confirm you, okay? You want to be confirmed. You confirm something. Look at this word, confirm. Confirm. Okay. Establish the truth or correctness of, okay, something previously believed, suspected, or feared to be the case. Administer the religious rite. Confirm gold. Let's see what that means. Meaning, how do you confirm gold? It says to confirm if something is gold, look for hallmarks, stamps indicating purity, like 10K, 14K, 18K, or 24K, and consider that real gold is non-magnetic and doesn't react with skin or makeup. So he's confirming your faith, okay? How much do you believe in what the Lord's given you? He's given us gold. We know it's purified 7 times according to the Bible, man. Let me get that in the LT. I think it's Psalms 12 and 6. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 12, verse 6. The Lord's promises are pure like silver, refined in a furnace, purified 7 times over. Yes, promises. He made a promise with the nation of Israel. Okay? So you being an Israelite, this promise pertains unto you. But you no longer believe in the Lord. You think everyone's can come together and come into your promise that the Lord made with you. You're trying to incorporate the heathen with your promise, with your heritage. Okay? But that's not how this works. Okay, the Lord made a promise, he's gonna fulfill it. It's the book of Sirach 24 and 24. It says, cleave unto him. Okay, you're supposed to be cleaving unto the Lord. Okay, let's look at this word, cleave. Okay, you want to cleave unto him. You know, it sucks, but it's good to get edification. Cleave means to split or sever, especially along a natural line or grain. Hold on. Make a way through forcefully. Cleave, let's see, there's more definitions. Stick fast to, okay? Adhere to, hold on, hold to, stand by, adhere to. Okay, so you want to cleave unto the Lord, man. Sirach 24 and 24. For the Lord Almighty is God alone. Yeah, he's just by himself, man. He's the only God. Okay, there's only one God. You cleave into another Jesus. What precept is that? That other Jesus? Other Jesus. It's Corinthians, but I can't think about where exactly it is. 2 Corinthians 11 and 4. For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, or Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, is he's the deliverer, he's the savior, whom we have not preached. Yeah, who Paul has not preached. He ain't preached about no Jesus, man. Or if ye receive another spirit, which ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. Okay? Let's get that in the NLT. 2 Corinthians. It's good to go. Sometimes you read it in the KJV and it might not make sense. But the Lord made it easier to read in these other, but you gotta cross-translate. 2 Corinthians 11:4 in the NLT. You happily put up with whatever anyone tells you, even if they preach a different Jesus than the one we preach, or a different kind of spirit than the one you received, or a different kind of gospel than the one you believed. Yeah, man, you happily receive that. You put up with it, okay? And you put up with it to the point where you forsook your God and you follow a different God, okay? You don't even call him by his true name anymore. You call him by his Greek name. And these are your enemies. The Greeks, the Romans, the Idumeans, the Edomites. These are enemies to Jacob, okay? So you believing in what your enemy's telling you makes you just a fool. Especially looking on the history of the things that happened. You to believe on your enemy is foolish, okay? Let's go back. Sirach 24:24. And beside him there is no other Savior. Yeah, and beside the Most High, there's no other Savior but Yahweh Shai, okay? There's no Jesus, or so-called white man next to the Most High God, okay? The white man can't even stand the sun. His eyes can't even be in the light. But you think he's up next to the Most High? You're foolish, man. Look at his actions. He's a snake, man. The things he's done in the world, the things he's doing today, the executive orders he's pushing out, all to oppress you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Mexico ain't got cyber attacks against America, you know, at the scale that China does, supposedly by the news, you know. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are powerless. You're the worm that the Lord talked about. Thou worm Jacob, that's y'all. No power, no political representation down here on the earth, man. Nobody cares about what you go through. And you don't even care about what you go through because you're complacent with being oppressed. You're okay with it now. Okay, but we're not trying to faint in the Lord. No, we're gonna still stand up for the Lord. To the point, we want to build up to the point, even if we gotta lose our life for this, man. Okay, because you're gonna lose your life one way or the other. Why not stand? Why not have integrity like Job had? Okay, these are things that should be making you want to serve the Lord. Okay, this is you building up your faith for a time to come. Look at what's going on in these other countries, man. All that's gonna come here to Babylon, even though you might not think it could happen, it will. It'll happen right here in your city, man. And that's what's prophesied in the Bible. Alrighty. Sirach 24:25, he filleth all things with his wisdom, as Physon and as Tigris in the time of the new fruits. Let's look at Physon. Okay, it's a river. But Physon River. It says the Physon River is one of the 4 rivers mentioned in the biblical book of Genesis as flowing from the Garden of Eden. Described as enriching the land of Havilah, where gold, bdellium, and onyx are found. Where is it today? Let me see. I probably got it in my notes. Let me just jump over there to Genesis 2nd chapter. Nope. I don't got it. Let's look at what's modern day Physon. Okay. It says Physon River, the biblical Physon River described as flowing around the Havilah is often suspected to be a lost river, with some scholars suggesting it might be the Quran River in the modern day North Central Arabia or the Wadi al-Batan. That's not what's flowed around the Physon River. Now he's saying it's fucking gone. Let's see. Let's look at some maps, because I forgot. There's Pastor Tahar goes into this all the time. I thought I wrote it down. How you doing, brother? Southern Mesopotamia. Pison, the Pison River goes from the Persian Gulf to the, but there's another name for it, you know. Trying to get it, Salakia. Shit, this damn river, man. Gushing and overflowing, and symbolizes the Nile River, which would overflow and irrigate. The word Pison, he explains, has the connotation of gushing. You know what? Let's go in the Blue Letter. I didn't even go in the Blue Letter. Let me find this river, man. And because this Sirach's saying what Genesis 2nd chapter saying. Genesis 2 and 11. It says the name of the first is Pison. That is it which compasses. Let me get it in the NLT to see, maybe it's the NLT. Genesis 2 and 11. It says the first river, same thing. Called the Pison, just spelled different. Let's see if the Blue Letter give us the actual river. Maybe that's what it's called. Increase, one of the 4 rivers used to describe the location of the Garden of Eden. Damn, man, I don't know. So locked. I can't find it. Let me see where the Nile River is, because it goes across. But the Nile River is in Egypt. This is going across pretty much Saudi Arabia. Where's the Nile River? When you look it up. Yeah, the Nile River's in fucking Egypt. What the hell are they talking about, man? I don't know, brothers. It's giving you so much. Esau's a fucking devil, man. That's why you can't trust Google anymore, man. This damn devil. You know, something popped off yesterday. I tried to Google something, and it was the wrong thing. Google's not what you should. You gotta dig deep into shit now, man. It's all foolishness. Okay, it's all foolishness, man. Genesis 2 and 12. I'm just gonna read it. Let me Salakia. Let me jump back to Sirach 24. I thought I had notes on it, but I don't. Sirach chapter 24 and 25. It says, "He filleth all with his wisdom, and as Pison and as Tigris in the time of the new fruits." Oh, I got it right here. Pison is the Red Sea. Pison, Red Sea, is one of the 4 rivers mentioned in the biblical book of Genesis. In that passage, the source river flows out of Eden to water Garden of Eden, and from there divides into the 4 named rivers. So it's the Red Sea. The Pison River is the Red Sea. So I did write it down, Salakia. Okay, see? So let's look at the Red Sea real quick. See if I can get images. So the Pison River is the Red Sea. I'm gonna use this one. We're next to Saudi Arabia and Sudan and Egypt and Ethiopia. On the eastern part of Africa. Okay. And as Tigris in the time of the new fruits was the Tigris River. It's called the Hiddekel. The Tigris is eastern of the two great rivers that define Mesopotamia, the other being the Euphrates. Let's look at this word Tigris River. Let's find out where that is. So you got the Tigris. Tigris is like in between Iraq and Iran. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. This one right here. Iran and Iraq right there. Tigris River. Okay. It says, of the two great rivers that define Mesopotamia, the other being the Euphrates, the river flows south from the mountains of the Turkish highlands through the Syrian and Arabian deserts and empties into the Persian Gulf. Okay. Sirach 24 and 26, he maketh the understanding to abound like Euphrates, and as Jordan in the time of the harvest. Okay, so it shows you the Euphrates too. So you got the Red Sea, you got the Tigris, you got the Euphrates. Okay. So, and then the Jordan. The Jordan's down here. It's not, I don't think it's showing the river though. Let's find it though. I mean, you could look it up, but I just wanted to make sure it's in that area of where the it's the Jordan River. Jordan River. So you got the Red Sea, then the Jordan River, then it's, I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere in the midst of all of that. The Pisons, the Red Sea. Jordan River runs along the border between Jordan and the Palestinian West Bank, Israel, and southwestern Syria. He maketh the doctrine and knowledge appear as the light, and as Gion in the time of vintage. What's Gion? So, you can't, Gihon is the name of the second river mentioned in this. Yeah, but where is it? So, river map. Let's find it. It's not really showing me. So he's saying the Gihon is the Red Sea, the Pison River goes across Saudi Arabia, the Tigris and the Euphrates. So that's the map that they're showing. That makes more sense because of the Levant. We know that Abraham came within the Levant. Okay. So Tigris, Euphrates, the Pison, and the Gihon, which is pretty much in the Red Sea. So, but I got on my notes the Pison is the Red Sea. Okay. So faint not, be strong in the Lord, man, because this is the Lord gave us these laws, statutes, and commandments to follow, man. Okay. And our heritage, you go into that word heritage, it means your land. Okay. It's your land, man. I just typed in heritage. Exodus 6 and 8, and I will bring you in unto the land concerning the which I did swear to give it to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it to you for an heritage. I am the Lord. Yeah, so he said, I'm going to give it to you for a heritage. Let's look at this word heritage in Exodus 6 and 8. It says a possession, an inheritance. Okay, let's look at the root word. To seize, dispossess, take possession of, to inherit. So the land's part of your heritage. Let's look at the regular word for heritage, man. Because a lot of people, you might not care about, about your heritage and things like that. But, some people think, you're just supposed to come out here and bring out precepts and things like that. But in all actuality, man, you got to make your calling and election sure, man. See, you're gonna be doing what you're gonna be going by what you believe, man. Okay. You gotta read so you can make sure that you actually believe in what you believe in, and we try to provoke you. Even if you believe in so-called Jesus, man, prove it. Prove that what you were told was true. Because most people, they don't know anything, man. They believe in falsehoods, idols. That's why they follow. Look at the types of abominations they eat. Look at the way they live, man. Okay? I was watching this Haitian lady. She was singing a song about Jesus so much, man. And look at Haiti, man. Haiti's always been like that. She has no understanding why she's in the predicament that she's in. Okay? And that's going to get her destroyed with no understanding. And you can't even be around people like that, man. Because they'll kill your ass. They think if you don't believe in Jesus, man, you're done, man. These are the same type of people. They got drink offerings out there doing all types of abominations, man. Y'all are the worst. They mix, these voodoo worshipers, man. They mix all the Catholicism with their voodoo worship. They're bugged out of their minds, man. They're bugged out. And that's why Esau can give them guns and make them fight against each other, because they'll turn on each other because they got demons on them. Put a bunch of demons on them and just give them weapons. They'll do exactly what the so-called white man got them doing, man. And we speak up against it, man. The hell, what you gonna do, man? You gonna join the wicked? Nah, you need to be serving the Lord, man. We all need to be, all of us, all so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But according to Zechariah 12 and 8, not everyone's going to turn back. Okay? Everyone's going to stay in their lot. And it's the Lord's programming. Zechariah 12, verse 8, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. It's not Zechariah 12 and 8. It's Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Lord is my power. Exactly, man. They're going to say, the Lord is my power when they see the salvation that he's bringing upon them, man. Okay, right now, you got to live by faith. Okay, just like it says in Habakkuk 2 and 5. You're going to live by faith. And faith is a gift, according to Ephesians 2 and 8. You got to know these things. Okay? Having faith in your enemy is going to be your destruction. It doesn't make any sense to do that. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So like it's verse 4. So Habakkuk 2 and 4, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. He's talking about the so-called white man, Esau. But the just shall live by his faith. Okay, that's what you got to live by faith, man. And what is faith? Let's go to Hebrews 11 and get into it. I'm going to get it in the NLT. I'm going to read it in the NLT. Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the confidence that we hope for will actually happen. It gives us assurance about things we cannot see. Exactly, man. That's what faith is, man. The confidence. Confidence goes back to having faith, man. It's something you can't see. We've never seen the Lord before in this lifetime. Okay, but we have faith through the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that he's going to come in this time to come save us. Okay? That he's going to manifest himself. The Lord's going to give him the decree to come, because that's what he's waiting for. Okay? He wants to come back. He wants to save the elect. But it's all up to the Heavenly Father. There's a certain measure of wickedness that needs to be fulfilled before the Lord sends back his son. And it starts with that MOTB, that mark of the beast, being mandated down here on the earth. Then that's Jacob's trouble. Okay? That's pretty much the temptation that we're going to be faced with, that we got to work up and build ourselves up, man, in this truth, man. And there's so much to know. That's why even though it took me long, it could take me all day, man, but you got to look these things up. Okay? You got to believe everything, man. Garden of Eden, that's our heritage, man. We going back to that, the sons of God. That's what we're saying we are. We were in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. Okay? That's our heritage. All right? This wisdom, this is our heritage. That's what I wanted to get, as a matter of fact. Let me keep going on Hebrews, and I'm going to jump over to Leviticus, the 26th chapter. Hebrews 11:2. Through their faith, the people in days of old earned a good reputation. By faith, we understand that the entire universe was formed at God's command, that what we now see did not come from anything that can be seen. Yeah, what we now see, it did not come from anything that can be seen. Okay? It was spoken. Yahweh Shai is the word of the Most High, man. Okay? And through him and the elect of Israel, they created everything that you see. Okay? But it started in the spirit first. You can't see the spirit. You can't see the Holy Spirit, man. But it's there. And it manifests itself with you having understanding in the areas that this world doesn't understand. It manifests itself when it matches up with the Bible, that people were going to stand up boldly. Okay? And the rest of it is going to manifest itself. And that's the hope, that's the faith that we have, that we're going to be saved. We're going to be drinking wine with Yahweh Shai, man. Lord's will be a part of that number. But if we're not, okay, not to cast doubt, but if you're not, you still are an Israelite, man. Okay? But he's only coming to save his elect. So you want to make your calling an election sure. Who wants to be put to death in a horrific way? When you have a chance to be saved, I would put my eggs in that basket. In this world, they tell you don't put your eggs all in one basket. This is the basket you probably won't put all your eggs in, is the Lord, man. Thermonuclear missiles, destruction, famine, pestilence. The shit that you find in your food, the different pestilences that are out there in the world, man, that's not something you want to catch, man. And then have to go to your enemy for help. No, you want to be guarded. You want to have some form of a hedge about you. Okay? And you can only get that by serving the Lord. Hebrews 11:4. It was by faith that Abel brought a more acceptable offering to God that Cain did. And Abel's offering gave evidence that he was a righteous man. And God showed him approval of his gifts. Although Abel is long dead, he still speaks to us by his example of faith, okay, showing you that good reputation. And that reputation is what we're talking about now. Okay? That the sacrifice of Abel, look how worthy it was that we still talk about it to this day. It's a notable act that he did. He's long ago he died, but that for that sacrifice, we are living off that sacrifice. We get faith from that sacrifice that he made. He's been given a good reputation with the Most High. And he died long ago. And look at Cain. We know he's still alive today. He's in rulership. He has all this abundance and everything, but his end is coming soon. And Abel is going to rule over him. Okay? Over Esau. Okay? Because the spirit that was in Cain is the spirit that's in Esau, Edom. He was a murderer from the beginning, according to John 8:44. But 2/3 of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all want Barabbas. Y'all like that murderous spirit. That's why you listening to the rap music. You love that type of culture. That's why you claim you're black. You are black. You're void of light. You're void of understanding. You're void of the Lord. And you're going to be destroyed because of that. We want a good reputation with the Lord that's going to last forever. An everlasting reputation. Okay? Because you're going to be here one day, then you're gone. What could you have done? Hey, you could have put up a good sacrifice while you were here. Instead of sending fruit. Damn fruit. Sending up fruit, man. The Lord that's not an acceptable sacrifice. Hebrews 11:5, it was by faith that Enoch was taken up to heaven without dying. He disappeared because God took him. For before he was taken up, he was known as a person who pleased God. Yeah, before he was taken up. We want to be taken up. Okay? We want to please him. And these things were written for our learning. Enoch, Abel. These are people who had faith. Hebrews chapter 11:6, and it is impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that God exists and that he rewards those who sincerely seek him. So you gotta sincerely seek the Lord, man. You gotta sincerely seek him, man. We're gonna make mistakes, you know. We're gonna do things that, you know, we're gonna fall sometimes, man. We're gonna stumble, we're gonna slip. Okay, but we don't want this world to take away our faith, man. That's what this world's designed for you to do. Take away your faith, believe in the so-called white man, and then have him put his MOTB device in you so you can eat. Okay? We don't want these things. We got to come back to our heritage. Let's get this in Leviticus 26 and 46. It says, "These are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Lord Yahweh made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses." Exactly. Covenant that he made between him and the Israelites. Exodus 24:7. "And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Lord have said, we will do and be obedient." Okay, exactly, man. That's the covenant being made between Moses, between the Most High and the children of Israel through Moses. Okay? And we said we will be obedient. "And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord had made with you concerning all these words." Yeah, he made with you concerning all these words. Not with everybody. No, you Israelites are on this mountain on Mount Sinai. That's who we made it with, not with everybody. Okay? But they didn't keep it. That's like your side chick trying to get into your relationship, ruin the relationship. Okay? because you went off. You know, now she's trying to say, no, break up with her and marry me. That's what the heathen are trying to make you do, man. But they have no parts in this, okay? They all have faith in the so-called white man, so they're gonna die by taking his MOTB because the Lord's not dealing with everybody. Hebrews 11:7 in the NLT, it was by faith that Noah built a large boat to save his family from the flood. Yeah, you're just gonna build a large boat when it never rained. And you gotta do that by faith and do it with hastening the day that the Lord was gonna come and send the flood, man. Meanwhile, you're putting all this labor, all this effort into something that everyone sees as vanity. And you gotta fight that too. You gotta fight that too. And through all of that, he built the ark and he was saved. And his family. And the animals that came along. Who warned him about things that had never happened before. Yeah, it was never happened that it rained before. Okay? But he believed in the Lord, and that's what we're doing. We're believing in the Lord. By his faith, Noah condemned the rest of the world. Exactly, we gotta condemn the rest of the world, man. You don't want to build this ark. You don't want to get up out of here. We'll condemn them, man. You are condemned to punishment. You know, when you get sentenced to death, you waiting to die. That's what the rest of this world's doing. This world's ready to pass away, man. It's ready to go. And he received the righteousness that comes by faith. Yeah, he received it. The righteousness, salvation. He was saved from the old world, man. The only 8 people that were with him and those animals were more worthy to be saved than the rest of the whole world, man. There was kids, there was babies, there was other animals, things like that, dead, drowned. Hebrews 11:8, it was by faith that Abraham obeyed when God called him to leave home and go to another land that God would give him as an inheritance. Exactly, going back to the inheritance, the land. It was given to Abraham. He told him to leave. I'm gonna give you a land. And he left where his family, to go into this land that the Lord promised. That was all through faith. So the forefather, Abraham, he got up and left his situation to follow the Lord, man. To listen, to obey the Lord. He went without knowing where he was going. Yeah, he didn't even know where he was going. Okay? Matter of fact, you can read about it. He told him to go, man. He brought his father and tried to bring his family with him, man. But it wasn't for them to make it, man. It was for Abraham, just like a lot of you believers out there, man. Your whole family ain't gonna make it. The Lord called you out, man. You gotta go by faith, man. You gotta walk to the promised land, man. You gotta get there. You gotta keep your faith. You gotta endure unto the end. Hebrews 11:9 in the NLT, and even when he reached the land God promised him, he lived there by faith, for he was like a foreigner living in tents. And so did Isaac and Jacob, who inherited the same promise. Exactly, man. They inherited the same promise. This is our heritage, man, that the heathen are trying to take away from us. No, it's not for you. It's for us to rule in the kingdom to come. If they can take away your faith that you're going to be ruling, then you'll be with this world. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. They can get you, hey, listen, just take this MOTB so we can all be saved. Just take this MOTB so we can all have herd immunity from whatever he tells you how to do it, so we can all eat, so we can all be one. We'll all be on the same page. Finally. We'll all just be the human race. Hebrews 11:10 in the NLT. Abraham was confidently looking forward to a city with eternal foundations, a city designed and built by God. Exactly, man. And we were thinking of the same thing, the kingdom of heaven, rulership. Okay? That's what we're hoping for. That's what our faith in. Our faith in is in the faith that our forefathers had, and that's the faith that you need. The faith that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They weren't worried about these damn heathen. Now you are. You got the wrong faith. As a matter of fact, you don't have faith. If it's not in what's the truth, you don't have faith, man. If you believe in any other God than the God of Israel, you don't have faith. You believe in an idol, a falsehood, lies, this world. You're part of this world, man. Hebrews 11 and 12. And so a whole nation came from this one man who was as good as dead, a nation with so many people that, like the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore, there is no way to count them. And it's talking about you Israelites, man. Okay? You're like the sand of the sea. And that's what he's referencing here. Let me see if I can grab that. Okay. There's a couple of places. I'm gonna grab this in Genesis first. I'm gonna grab it in Hosea too. Genesis. So 22 and 17. It says, I'll start at, you know what? I'll start at 13. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah-Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord Yahweh it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord Yahweh called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, by myself have I sworn, saith the Lord Yahweh, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, this is the point, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So he says, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand that is upon the seashore. Okay. So he says it in Genesis. In Hosea, chapter 1. In verse 10, it says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. Exactly, man. In the place where it was said, we are not the Lord's people, it was here in America. Okay? But then when the Lord starts revealing who the sons of God are, then you're going to know. Okay? But they're starting to see it now. But when things start to come to pass more, you know, especially this MOTB, hey, you're going to know. You're going to see. You're going to see who the Lord's dealing with in these last days. We all are. The whole creation is. Not just you and I, or whoever watches this video. Romans 8 and 19. It says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. Exactly, the earnest expectation of the creature, which is all of creation, is the creature. The expectation is the manifestation or the evidence of the sons of God. When they start to, that's what they're waiting for, earnestly expecting that, for the Lord to reveal them to the world. Hebrews 11 and 13 in the NLT. All these people died still believing what God had promised them. They did not receive what was promised, but they saw it all from a distance and welcomed it. They agreed that they were foreigners and nomads here on earth. Yeah, and that's just like us today. We have no inheritance in this world, okay? Your inheritance comes with the death of this world. Okay? We are the world to come. Our inheritance is in the world to come. Okay? So right now, you gotta be like foreigners in this world. Nomads here on the earth. That's what we are, man. It's like you're a pilgrim, okay? Hebrews chapter 13 and 14. For here have we no continuing city, but we seek one to come. Okay, we have no continuing city, man. Y'all trying to build one here, man. You're trying to build off grid. Let's build this Israelite community together. We have no continuing city here, but we seek one to come. We seek one by having this understanding that this place is going to be destroyed, and our city is going to be. We are the city. We're New Jerusalem, man. It's going to be coming down from the sky. Okay, and we're going to give continual employment to Esau and these other heathen nations, and they're going to build up our kingdom like we build up theirs. Hebrews 11 and 14 in the NLT. Obviously, people who say such things are looking forward to a country they can call their own. Exactly. We're looking forward to a country that we can call our own. Okay? What the hell you gonna do? You got some land, you still in captivity. Just because you buy land, you're still in captivity, man. You're still a subject to the laws of the government. You can't just throw out Romans 13th chapter, man. The Lord set it up this way. Where you have to obey the laws of the land, man. Okay? You can't be, you can't be out here doing what you want, man. The Lord said, wait for me while I rise up against the prey. You can't be coming up against this devil, man. Let this devil clap your hands, watch him do what he do. You ain't got to threaten him, man. Let him do what he got to do. Let him sign his executive orders. As a matter of fact, he just signed another executive order. I forgot for what, but it wasn't executive order for something about voting rights, man. You gotta bring your passport. You gotta prove you're a U.S. citizen in order to vote. That's what Esau likes to do on the Republican side, man. They like to oppress the voting. Okay? And the Democrats like to open it up to everybody. But you shouldn't vote for these niggas anyways. So let the Lord, he already set up a cruel king. You gotta know the times that we in, man. It's the cruel king that's gonna mandate the MOTB. Hey, that's our ticket up out of here, man. We're gonna see who is who. Those who gotta die, they're gonna die. Then we're gonna see who's the elect. We ain't gotta keep telling everybody you the hopeful elect, man. You ain't gotta keep telling people that, man. Then we're gonna see who is the elect. It's good to be hopeful and faithful. Okay? Just be faithful to the Lord, man. That's it. To the true power. And don't be deceived anymore, man. Tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine. Catholicism, Christianity. That's who's paying. You paying them to deceive you. Okay? Hebrews 11 and 15 in the NLT. If they had longed for the country they came from, they could have gone back. Exactly, man. Y'all don't long for the country that you came from. You long to stay here in Babylon. It's like it says in Isaiah, the 1st chapter, the ox knoweth his owner and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people do not consider, okay? You don't consider you're an ox, you're an ass. That's Isaiah 1 and 3, man. The ox and the ass is smarter than you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans because they know who their owner is. They know where their crib's at, where they're supposed to be eating, man. You don't. You're supposed to be drinking this bread and eating this bread and drinking this wine of Yahweh Shai. Not that other Jesus or that other Yahweh Shai. Because Jesus is a damn sodomite from Edomite sodomite. Okay? Goes back to Caesar Borgia. Okay? Letter J was created in 1524 by Gian Trissino. Look it up. So his name couldn't have been that. And the Bible was written long before Gian Trissino was ever made. The Bible was written in Hebrew, in Greek. And the Greeks are the Edomites, man. They knew if they can put Jesus in their yard, believe it, because they put it in the Bible, and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are some of them just your sheep. So you're easily led astray. But like we read in Zechariah 13 and 8, 2/3 shall be cut off and die. You're not going to make it through the afflictions, the fire that the Lord's bringing upon the earth. He's going to make sure your ass gets caught up in these protests. We want rights. We want rights. That's going to get your ass killed, man. Coming up against the government, not having the understanding of Romans the 13th chapter, not having the understanding of Isaiah 19 and 4, and most importantly, not having an understanding of Revelation 13:16. These are precepts you need to understand. Okay. Hebrews 11 and 16 in the NLT, but they were looking for a better place, a heavenly homeland. That is why God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. Exactly, man. Yahweh Shai said, in my Father's house there are many mansions. So it's not just going to be this world we're going to conquer. We're going to conquer every other world that ever existed. Put up more, create for all eternity. We're going to rule over all people. Because when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So imagine that. Hebrews 11 and 17 in the NLT. It was by, Salaki, did I already read that? Hebrews 11 and 17 in the NLT. It was by faith that Abraham offered Isaac as a sacrifice when God was testing him. Abraham, who had received God's promises, was ready to sacrifice his only son, Isaac. Exactly, man. You think he wanted to sacrifice Isaac? I was supposed to be an heir under him. No, he didn't want to do that. But he trusted in the Lord, and the Lord counted it as righteous by obeying him. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to obey the Lord. That's all. Hebrews 11 and 18 in the NLT. Even though God had told him, Isaac is the son through whom your descendants will be counted, Abraham reasoned that if Isaac died, God was able to bring him back to life again. And in a sense, Abraham did receive his son back from the dead. Exactly, in a sense he did. Okay? Because just the mental anguish of him going through it with it, it was like he did. Okay? Because he was going to do it. And we read in Genesis 22nd chapter that the angel said it twice and gave him a ram caught in the thicket in the stead of his son Isaac, who through the reincarnation is Yahweh Shai. So you can receive it. Hebrews 11 and 20 in the NLT. It was by faith that Isaac promised blessings for the future to his sons, Jacob and Esau. It was by faith that Jacob, when he was old and dying, blessed each of Joseph's sons and bowed in worship as he leaned on his staff. It was by faith that Joseph, when he was about to die, said confidently that the people of Israel would leave Egypt. He even commanded them to take his bones with them when they left. So even Joseph knew you were going to leave this place, man. Yeah, and take my bones with you, man. I'm out of here too. So our forefathers always had faith. Hebrews 11 and 23 in the NLT. It was by faith that Moses' parents hid him for 3 months when he was born. They saw that God had given them an unusual child, and they were not afraid to disobey the king's command, okay? So Moses' parents had more faith than that cruel king, Pharaoh, at that time, or the cruel Pharaoh at that time, okay? In the Lord than him. He hid Moses 3 months. Hebrews 11 and 24 in the NLT. It was by faith that Moses, when he grew up, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to share the oppression of God's people instead of enjoying the fleeting pleasures of sin. Exactly, and that's what we're doing. Just like Moses, we can go into the world and enjoy sin for a moment. But how much more Moses? So this applies to the rich and the more capable of this world, man. Moses gave all that up, man, to suffer with his people, man. How beautiful it is to come out here and serve the Lord and try to teach your people, man. When you wake someone up to the truth of the Bible, man, it's the greatest reward you could ever receive. Okay? Suffer. The Lord had to suffer, you gotta suffer, man. You don't gotta suffer. You can live in the world with this world, and you can be destroyed with it too. Hebrews 11 and 26 in the NLT. He thought it was better to suffer for the sake of Hamashiach than to own the treasures of Egypt, for he was looking ahead to his great reward. Yeah, he was looking ahead, man. And that's what we're looking for, the world to come, man. We ain't looking in behind us, man. Okay. Matter of fact, let me grab that precept. In Ecclesiastes 7. Ecclesiastes 7 and 10. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? For thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. Let me get that in a different translation. Yeah, don't look at the past, man, and think it was better, you know, back in the day. Like you missing out in the world. You ain't missing nothing. This ain't you're in captivity, man. Let's get that. Ecclesiastes 7 and 10 in the NLT. It says, don't long for the good old days. This is not wise. Okay, it's not wise to long for the good old days, man. Those days are over. And now we look forward to the kingdom to come. Book of Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 27. It was by faith that Moses left the land of Egypt. Hebrews 11:27 in NLT. Not fearing the king's anger. He kept right on going because he kept his eyes on the one who is invisible. Who is invisible, man? The Most High, Yahweh. Okay? Kept his eyes on him. He was invisible. How you keep your eyes on him is through the Spirit and having your faith, man. Hebrews 11 and 28 in the NLT. It was by faith that Moses commanded the people of Israel to keep the Passover and to sprinkle blood on the doorposts so that the angel of death would not kill their firstborn sons. Exactly, man. It was by faith, man. Put that blood on the doorpost, man. So the angel of death can pass by you. And it's by faith that we're also covered by the blood of the Lamb. Lord's will. How you doing?
Good.
Hebrews 11 and 29, it was by faith that the people of Israel went right through the Red Sea as though they were on dry ground. But when the Egyptians tried to follow, they were all drowned. Exactly. It was by faith to go to the Red Sea, man. Split it open, man. It was like they thought they were going to die, man. The Lord split the Red Sea for them and walked across dry ground. And what did he do to the Egyptians? He drowned them, put them to death. Pharaoh's army. Hebrews 11 and 30 in the NLT, it was by faith that the people of Israel marched around Jericho for 7 days and the walls came crashing down. It was by faith, man, that they destroyed Jericho, man. Okay. Hebrews 11 and 31 in the NLT, it was by faith that Rahab the prostitute was not destroyed with the people in her city who refused to obey God, for she had given a friendly welcome to the spies. Exactly, man. Okay. Now, Rahab was a heathen. Hold on. Yeah, Rahab, hey, we keep our, she had to have faith in that Joshua was going to keep his promise, man. Okay? For her to do that. Because why? If you didn't have faith in what Joshua said, then you would have put yourself at risk. She understood, she saw, hey, some of the heathen believed too. King of Babylon, he believed. Balaam, he believed. He was given a vision. Shit, Alexander the Greek even believed. Antiochus Epiphanes was wanted to believe at the end, man. Because they could see the power of the Lord, man. People gonna see that, they gonna have faith. The heathen gonna have faith when they see things, man. When they see power, it's undeniable. Hebrews 11 and 32, how much more do I need to say? It would take too long to recount the stories of the faith of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Japheth, David, Samuel, and all the prophets. By faith, these people overthrew kingdoms, ruled with justice, and received what God had promised them. They shut the mouths of lions, quenched the flames of fire, and escaped death by the edge of the sword. Their weakness was turned to strength. They became strong in battle and put whole armies to flight. Women received their loved ones back again from death, but others were tortured, refusing to turn from God in order to be set free. They placed their hope in a better life after the resurrection. Some were jeered at, and their backs were cut open with whips. Others were chained in prisons. Some died by stoning. Some were sawed in half, and others were killed with the sword. Some went about wearing skins of sheep and goats, destitute and oppressed and mistreated. They were too good for this world, wandering over deserts and mountains, hiding in caves and holes in the ground. All these people earned a good reputation because of their faith, yet none of them received all that God had promised. For God had something better in mind for us, so that they would not reach perfection without us. Ooh. So that they would not reach perfection without us, man. Okay? This is for the whole nation of Israel, man. Look how much closer we are to the end, and y'all still want to play around with the Lord's word. Okay? Let me read that last verse in the KJV. Hebrews 11 and 40. God having provided some better thing for us, that they without us should not be made perfect. So the Most High had something better in mind for us, so that they would not reach perfection without us, okay? I'm thinking of this other precept. I want to grab that, because it reminds me of what Paul said. ruled as kings. Because, 1 Corinthians 4:8. You got to think about the northern kingdom, man. And the southern kingdom, they split. Now we're starting to come back together. Hey, man, that's way better, man. The way the Lord did it. He had to separate. Still had kingdoms after King Solomon, But now he took it all away, and he's going to bring us all back through the word. He's going to separate us through the fire, and we're going to bring us back to perfection, okay? Where we can never go off ever again. That's the best way to rule, man. Where you're one with your God and you can never go off with him. Okay, unlike this world, the way the people of this world, man. Let me grab this. 1 Corinthians 4:8. Now ye are full, now ye are rich. Yeah, the men of this world, you see them, they're full, they're rich, man. They're satisfied in this world. Ye have reigned as kings without us. This is Paul talking to the church of Corinth. Ye have reigned as kings without us, man. But the Lord God had a better thing for us. You think the Lord ain't gonna come during your lifetime. You think he put you in this time for a specific reason. And I would, to God, ye did reign. Yeah, I want you to reign. I want you to be a king. That we also might reign with you. Yeah, what about us? We still suffering the curses in Deuteronomy. And you living like you a king down here on the earth. Okay, what kind of mindset is that? What's going on, brother? What's going on? You don't want to be like that, man. But I'm going to end it right there. Lord's will, that was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechach Wadash, Shalom, Ababa Ball, Kwam Yasharallah.